I hate being sexy, but I'm a chubby bearded man, so I can't help it? Is that what?
Yeah, that's what it says.
So Ty has a shirt on right now that looks as though, I will say, a Snickers bar got in a fight with asphalt and got some powdered sugar sprinkled on it, and a bunch of big font that says, I hate being sexy, but I'm a chubby bearded man, so I can't help it. Why are you wearing this today?
So, my mom gave this to me as a gift for Father's Day. And it's much later than Father's Day, but she was like, "Oh, I forgot to send this."
So this is your mother, not your mother-in-law who got you the what was it,
Daddy Bear
shirt.
Yeah. So apparently my
different
mom,
people.
Yeah, different people, but apparently my mom and my mother-in-law all think I belong on a gay bar.
Well, can we break this down?
Yes, kind of like we have to.
It starts with I hate being sexy.
Which why?
Why?
Who hates being sexy?
I don't understand that.
No
like
one
you
does.
might not feel sexy, but when you feel sexy, do you hate that feeling?
No.
Yeah,
you feel damn good. You're like, damn, I am kicking it.
Yeah, and so it goes, I hate being, and that's in like black with like powdered sugar got spilled on it.
Yeah.
And then under it says sexy, it's shit brown with powdered sugar on it as well.
Yeah.
Sexy's all big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I hate being sexy. So we're off to a bad start
already.
And then we read, but I'm a chubby bearded man, which follows the hatred of feeling sexy. I'm so confused.
So that part doesn't have to be, because a chubby bearded man in the gay community is known as a bear.
Right.
So that kind of plays into the whole, I'm a daddy bear.
You're daddy bear.
I'm a daddy bear.
But you hate it, according to
this. Being a daddy bear is a course of self-loathing.
Yes, that's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
And then it ends with, so I can't help it.
Yeah.
So you are you have no control over the situation. I have
no control of the situation, and we're not even like finished yet. This shirt is almost like sheer.
I can see through it.
Yeah, you can see my nipples.
Yes. Yeah. All of them. All of your collective nipples.
All two of them, or do you see more than two?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the weirdest transparent white. Like it's both see-through and it's opaque in its own nature.
It's so like,
yeah.
Mom, if you're listening to this, what the fuck are you doing? Stop.
And why are you listening to this?
And then two, thank you for the gift, but I might not wear this as often as you would like.
Well, Ty, I know we both don't hate being sexy, but we do enjoy.
My kid is now fast asleep, I can pour myself a glass. But too many shows on Netflix are trash, it makes me wanna pass. I can't figure out what to watch, what am I supposed to do? Let's get drunk and rewatch cartoons when we were little dudes. Whiskeylodeon.
All right.
John, I gotta apologize.
Why?
I wanted this to be like, oh, let's go on like these mystery shows that I loved watching as a kid, and
right.
and watching it now. I don't know. Did you watch these growing up?
Okay, so today we are going to be discussing two shows from our childhood, The Mystery Files of Shelby Woo and Animorphs. I definitely watched Shelby Woo a good bit.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember this episode as a kid. Animorphs, I read the books.
I read the books as well.
I don't recall watching the show, but I am glad that I've either forgotten about it or like there was some trauma that I just kind of like really just pushed that deep down in there.
Yeah.
So, we joke that this feels like it could be a Let's Get Weird Part 4.
Yeah.
But we'll probably save that for another time. And
this was meant to be a mystery night.
And it is. Is it? Is it?
I want it to be.
Yeah.
Can you solve that mystery?
I don't know. No, I can't. That's above my pay grade. There is a mystery that is in front of me right now, though.
Yes. So, I have made you a cinnamon spiced old fashioned. So,
Yes.
we have a wonderful friend with a Yarrow Pro cocktail smoking kits, and I was able to utilize some wood chips as well as some cinnamon to smoke this cocktail.
And say that name one more time.
Yarrow Pro.
Yayaro?
So YAYARO PRO.
Sweet. Yeah. It's a beautiful kit.
Right?
Yeah. What all is in this kit too that we're looking at?
So you got the smoking kit itself. It
Right.
is basically a wooden contraption that you can put on top of your glass, and inside it has like a mesh thimble that you can put in the wood chips. That way you can torch it, close the lid, and the smoke just seeps to the bottom. It came with some stainless steel whiskey stones, so that if you don't want to dilute your drink, you can absolutely keep it chilled. And then it also
They're shiny too.
and they are shiny.
Yeah. I like it.
And then it also came with 4 different wood chips for you to smoke.
So we had cherry.
Cherry, apple, oak, and pecan of all things. Yeah.
Yes. Not pecan.
Pecan.
Picant. Yeah.
Picante.
Picante. It's salsa. There was actually just loose salsa in there. That was our only word of feedback that we were concerned about, that there was just loose salsa
Yeah.
all up in there.
The picante salsa in the can was...
And to be fair, that's not Yayaro's fault. That was because Ty dropped salsa in there. And I pushed him into a salsa fruit, and the salsa squirted out.
I'm like super interested in the fact that there is a salsa fruit.
Well, you don't just you think you make salsa? No, it grows from the ground, right?
I thought it grew in a tree.
It's
Most-
a salsa
most
garden.
fruit
They call it a
grows in tree.
salsa garden. They don't, it is salsa.
Yeah,
It grows in its own salsa form. Am I wrong about this?
I...
Now you're going to tell me guacamole is made from avocados and some form of salsa.
No, avocado is also grown from trees.
No, guacamole is just guacamole from the ground.
Oh, well, now I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's a mystery, Ty.
Solve it.
Solve it. Don't ask me.
So, going back to this cocktail, we are using a cinnamon simple syrup. Instead
Yeah.
of using Angostura bitters, I'm using black walnut bitters.
Mm-hmm.
And then the smoke, I had asked you, I was like, hey, do you want to guess this? And like, no, it's above my pay grade. But you actually got it. So you were sniffing it.
Yeah, I was, and Ty, I guess everything right. And
Yeah.
Ty thinks his face looks. We all have like a face on our face, right? And you don't really
face
know
on the
what you
face.
look like unless you've kind of practiced in the mirror reactions. And Ty has this look as though I am dead wrong. So my confidence level just drops, much like a pair of testicles might. And
In the summer heat.
in the summer heat. Thank you for backing me up. I was like, how would they drop? And I'm like, I'm wrong. And then Ty's face changes, it distorts, and he's like, you got it. And I was like, what? What do you mean I got it? I didn't feel like I got it right, but I guess
He was like,
you got it.
I smelled cherries. Is that what I'm smelling? And I just looked like, and he goes, no. I'm like, no, you got it right.
Yeah, felt good. Yeah, it's delightful.
Yeah.
Fall. We're recording this in the endish of summer time.
Yeah.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the fall of deception, and if you don't know what that is, if you're from Charlotte, you do know what that is. That's where it's kind of like a little teasery of fall. You get a good week
Yeah.
of like nice weather, but we're back into Satan's armpit of the South. And this though is like such a good reminder that we are close.
We're close.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Yeah, it's very cinnamony, very cherry wood. That's all I got. You thought I was going to keep going. He's like Sean graduated. He's really.
I mean,
just
the
nailing
fact
these
that you
notes.
got it, because I'm sitting there, I was like, I wonder if this is gonna like just kind of take him a bit to find out. But now you're like, I think I smell cherries. It's kind of fruity. I was like, oh,
And
bitch, you got it.
Yes, and this because you smoked it, and
Yeah.
but I did take all the canisters of just the wood chips. You really don't get much from it.
Yeah.
So-
I wasn't able to get much just sniffing it, but once it's torched,
Once it gets
starts
unlocked,
releasing,
baby.
I guess some oil or something like that. But yeah, it's
It's delightful. So I'm glad you made this one.
Well, thank you.
It is beautiful. Unlike some of these episodes we're going to talk about. I hate that we just had an episode we came off where we weren't enthused. We had RO Monsters, enthused about it.
Yeah,
We had
enthused.
Space Cases where we didn't watch it as a kid, so not really enthused. kind of
didn't have like the nostalgia.
sat in the middle. And
So to your point, I had that nostalgic, like, oh, I remember these, and then I'm like, oh, this is not as good as I thought it was.
No. Which bad one do you want to talk about first today?
Let's start with Shelby Woo.
Let's start with Shelby Woo.
Yeah, let's start with Shelby Woo.
Because I think we'll walk away having some good things to say about this. I really do.
So we are covering Season 2, Episode 2, Eye of the Storm. Everybody is gathered at the inn, waiting for out a hurricane when it's discovered that someone among them is a jewel thief. And later, one of the guests disappears when the power goes out.
Yeah. Do you remember watching this as a kid?
I do.
Yeah.
And I remember this episode fondly.
I remember this, and then I remember watching Storm of the Century by Stephen King. Pretty vastly different.
Very.
There's something oddly, I don't know if it's odd. There's comfort in having to stay inside because Mother Nature has shown its ferocity.
Yeah. It's very much I can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a freedom of letting go of control.
Yes, which is a goddamn metaphor for life and finding that pursuit of loveliness.
Yeah, I keep trying to tell my kid this, and he's like, no, I want all the control.
To be fair, he's 4.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, start now, right? Yeah, start controlling your child in order that he can let go of control now. Control that.
Man, I wish I wouldn't have to fight so much, because it's like we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
The Teddy Report for babies.
So, like, he's doing this thing now, and it's probably my fault, where it's like, hey, let's go do this. He goes, well, here's the thing. Let's do this. Let's go play for 5 minutes, and then we can do that. Or, hey, let's go to Walmart, and I'll get a treat, and then we can go shopping.
Yo, he's parenting you.
He's trying to. He's basically like, hey, I'm going to take your compromising conversation, but with the demanding of my mom.
Well, it's the options trick that you do. It's like, okay, you have a kid with a plate. Mm-hmm. On that plate, there's broccoli and there's carrots. Instead of saying, eat your broccoli and carrots, the trick is, would you rather eat your carrots before or after your broccoli? That like implies that they have choice, right? He's doing that shit to you, Ty.
He's trying.
He's trying.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing right through it. Or is he? I don't know. Is he getting you?
He's not getting me there, because this is like, well, here's the thing. Daddy's got to work, so I'm going to go ahead and work first, and then we can play. Mm-hmm. And then he just loses his shit and like gets mad, and it's like, you can't offer options and then get mad when I choose a different option.
Right.
And he's not even framing it as an option. He's like, actually, let's do this. Let's compromise. Let's do my thing first, and then you can do your thing.
Wow. And this is, how's this making you feel?
It's frustrating, because it's like, I feel like I spoil him, and I absolutely do. And it's like, I don't want to be the person that's like, I will stop spoiling you. I will stop because you're being a jerk about it. Like just last night, and I'm still wrestling how I'm feeling about this. He was fighting about brushing his teeth. And it's like, look, like, we don't even brush your teeth that long. Just give us 10 seconds so we can brush your teeth and it's over. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I want to play for 5 minutes first. I'm like, we've been playing. It's already like 7:30. It's past your bedtime. We got to get you down. And I was like, bitch, I got you candy. I will eat that fucking candy if you do not go brush your teeth. And he finally went and brushed his teeth. Mm-hmm. And I didn't say fucking in front of him. Like, that's just me expressing how I felt.
Because we don't say what the fuck.
We don't say what the fuck.
Yeah.
Coming out in July next year.
I hope so. Yeah. And as long as we don't date this podcast, which we already did, Oops. July of next year can be whenever. You'll never know.
You'll never know. No. But I want to get it out there. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Manifest that shit, man.
Manifesting.
I will be the first in line to receive my free copy. It'll be an audiobook, obviously.
Oh, obviously. It has to be.
Yeah. Narrated by Teddy, because it'll be like 18 years later. My dad. my grandpapa.
My grandpapa, papa.
Grandpapa from space. Well, I hope you navigate that the way that you need to, my friend.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Speaking of navigating things, we got a whole mystery to unpack. And before we say who or what, did you know who did it?
I forgot who did it.
Like
I watched the
a few minutes
episode-
go in, you had a guess, right?
Yeah,
Were you right?
I was right.
Okay, so we both guessed the same person. Okay, cool. Let's just start from the beginning then.
All right. So this show was created by Alan Goodman and ran for about 5 seasons. It stars Irene Ong and Pat Morita. Oh, Pat.
He's our detective, right?
No, he's
not
the
our
grandpa. He actually wasn't in this episode.
Oh, that's why I'm guessing someone who was in it.
Yeah, but he was the guy from the Karate Kid.
Of course. Yeah.
So, but anyways, Irene Ong, who plays Shelby Woo, was the second Asian actress to be cast as a lead character on American TV series, the first being Margaret Cho in All American Girl.
And this came out in 96, I want to say.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's great. We can talk about some acting, and we don't have to because it is the era of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, we get it. So we won't tear it apart too much, but I thought she was great.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
And some of the things I learned about her just makes me like, oh, damn, that's even more impressive than I thought.
Right.
So not only that, Alan Goodman would interview Irene and incorporate aspects of her life into the writing of the character. So, for instance, Irene lived with her grandmother for the first 5 years of her life while her parents pursued their careers in higher education. And so Shelby lived with her grandfather while her parents pursued their careers.
Hey, we pull a piece of ourselves when we're doing acting.
And also, originally, this show was conceived as The Mystery Files of Shelby Wing, and it was supposed to feature a white person. But Alan Goodman was
Wing?
Wing, Y-N-G.
Y-N-G?
Or sorry, W-I-N-G, like chicken wing.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So, but he was so impressed with Irene Ong that he was like, no, we got to make this person Irene. So
Cool.
they changed it to Shelby Woo.
Good deal.
Yeah. Irene was a full-time student at Harvard during the filming of the show. She auditioned as a distraction from her studies and started the show before she had the adequate time to request a leave of absence from college. As a result, she had to juggle studying and assignments with acting and memorizing her lines in the first season. By the time the second season had started, she was able to request a leave from school so she could focus on the show. And then Pat Morita was the biggest practical joker on set. Which sounds like he would,
Yeah, I could see it.
that would have been a lot of fun. So let's get into it, man. You ready?
I think I am. Yeah, I mean, we're coming off a fresh set of eyes.
We are, yes.
It's been a minute since we watched an episode together. So we did this literally minutes before this is happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we absolutely did. And if you want to find it, the first 2 seasons are on Amazon Prime for purchase or rent.
Did they do more than 2 seasons?
They did. They did 5 seasons, but they were only showing the first 2 on Amazon.
That's pretty
for some
good. That's a pretty good
reason.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so we are starting off. She's actually at the police precinct.
It appears as such.
Yeah.
Her
like-
desk is a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, she's been placed in charge of handling emergency supplies. And that's when we meet Detective Handline?
Handline?
No, hold on. Heinlein. There we go.
That'll work.
Detective Heinlein. And so that's when you find out that there is a hurricane going on. And they're like, we got to get supplies to people. We got to make sure people are safe.
Sure.
So now we cut to the bed and breakfast. And Pat is not there. Grandpapa.
He's not here no
He's
more.
not there.
No.
He's out, I guess, getting milkshakes with some friends.
That's the thing.
That sounds about right.
Ty, when there's a hurricane, what you want to do, the first and foremost, it's 2 things. Put duct tape on your windows so the water doesn't get out, and then get milkshake with your friends.
With your friends.
That's it.
Okay.
Again, so the water doesn't get out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You want to keep the moisture in.
And milkshakes will do that.
Yes. I hate being sexy, but I'm a guy who puts duct tape on my windows, so I can't help it.
You can't help it. Oh, we're going to keep this going, I feel. But anyway, so we get back to the bed and breakfast. And so from there, you meet all the other people at the bed and breakfast. You have a magician and his assistant/wife, which I totally forgot was his wife. I just heard assistant. And then Sean was like, no, they're married. And then you were right. So,
The drink, I guess?
Sean, you were right.
I mean, I don't live to be right, but it
Still
is
right.
nice. Hey, don't spill your whiskey on your chocolate Snickers
But it wasn't even
shirt.
the whiskey. It was the condensation around.
Ah, the condensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't use the metal whiskey stones, I actually
We're
made my
waiting
cocktail.
on that, aren't we? We don't know when we want to do that.
Yeah, well, because when I made the cocktail, I knew, hey, I'm going to prep it in a way that it's going to accommodate the ice that melts.
Yeah.
So that's how I did it. Yeah.
Keep that smoky.
Eat that smoky.
So okay, we got some more characters in this room.
Yes. So we find out that there is a thief, a jewel thief, who has stolen a beautiful watch. And then we cut to a hurricane chaser at this bed and breakfast, recording as he talks to Shelby about the hurricane.
Yeah, he's just kind of mansplaining right over top.
Yeah, it's.
He wants to interview her, and then she gets like a word out.
Yeah, and then he talks over her, and
Yeah, and he's like, "Cool, got what I needed."
thanks.
And they're like, "Cool, we really like this character."
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he's our guy.
I don't know if there was any of these suspects that I'm like, oh, I hope it's not them.
No, these people are terrible.
They're terrible.
Well, this guy, we'll call him. He's a fucking fuckbert.
Fuck Bert. Okay. So fuck Bert, the cameraman who is chasing hurricanes.
That feels right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then next we are met with her friends. So we have Melanie, we have Cassie, and we have Noah. And Noah's just kind of chilling with Shelby, while Cassie and Melanie are bringing in jugs of water.
Noah's rocking like some kind of. It's a goatee.
Yeah.
Like
he looks like a goat.
He does. He also looks like he was in like Stained or Nickelback or Creed's.
Yeah.
One of those.
Nickel Creed.
Old Stained back.
Creedleback.
Yeah, old Creedleback opening for Stained Tooth. Yeah, it's all part of the festival. We're building it up. You'll see us there.
Yeah. And so we have some other guests that need to be taken care of. So Shell was like, hey, help me out. So we have, I think it
Also,
was
why are we
Cassie.
here? Why are we at this home?
Well, because it's a bed and breakfast. So it's an inn. And so these people were just staying, and then the hurricane hit.
It's her inn?
Yes, and her inn.
Okay.
It's actually Pat's inn, the grandpa's inn.
Okay, and she
And
helps.
Staying, yeah, she's
Got it.
staying in help.
Okay.
And so one, like, who gets a hotel room? Like, hey, I know there's a hurricane, but let's make this trip. Let's stay at this inn.
People do that though.
They do.
This
and
actually, I have no critiques on this because like we've seen
it
these
also
characters.
was Florida.
It was Florida. I mean, like I have no notes. I'm like, this makes so much sense. I hate that it does. Like, yeah, I can't tear the script apart because I'm like, no, this is
It's a solid script.
this is true.
It's a solid scenario.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, we'll lay
there's-
out the script, but the
scenario plausible. Yes, no mystery there.
So we get one friend who ends up going outside. I think it was Cassie, who ends up coming across the magician. And he, of course, is freaking out. I was like, oh, bitch, you didn't see nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's when she finds out that he's a magician. And he's got his assistant, his wife.
What does he have in his hand?
It's like it's a golden case, kind of like almost like a jewelry box.
Yeah.
A golden jewelry box that he puts away.
Yep. And he says, bitch, you didn't see nothing.
Bitch, you ain't seen nothing.
Slips that away.
Yes.
Right betwixt his nips.
White. Yeah, in betwixt his nips. He opens his jacket and in betwixt his nips.
Yep.
And so we cut to then the other friend, Melanie, going to see the writer, who is sitting there talking about, it's like, well, fine, we got to figure out how to kill this person, whether we poison them or whether we murder them. Like, she's going on, and this friend is
Are you remembering also, you're like,
mortified.
we are watching a children's show?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely remembering that, and I'm like, oh my.
This is fine.
Yeah, okay, kids need to know this.
Yeah, a little bit of murder.
They watch a show about monsters.
Then you can watch a show about mystery murder in Florida.
And that's
Again,
when you find
scenarios making sense.
So she's a mystery writer, and that's when Melanie's like, oh, I heard you talk about poisoning and murdering someone. And she goes, oh, no, it's from my book.
I thought I was going to end up in a van with
Yeah.
the murderer.
Yeah, oh, now you just described the plot of Good Burger.
They're not, well, they
They
are
try to murder
murderers.
people, and then the person
put
who
'em in the
caught them
van.
got thrown in a van.
Yeah, well, that's Nickelodeon. You got your slimes.
Mm-hmm.
You got your murderers. You got your vans.
Yeah.
That's the formula.
Yeah.
That's why we started this podcast in the first place.
Yeah, the 3 out of the 4 were like, this is what makes our childhood.
That is the triangle. Yes, I know there's like sexy and courteous and something else.
naughty.
Naughty. But there's multiple triangles. Yeah, this is an alternate universe in the
enough.
same universe.
We are in a triangular pyramid of life.
Look, it's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
We don't know.
Each side has a different thing to go about.
But we're going to find out.
Yes.
Or we won't.
One way or another.
Maybe.
Someday.
I don't know.
But it could be.
I don't know, Ty! I don't know!
Holy shit, I jumped. Oh my goodness. That can't. Oh.
You weren't ready for it. This is Julian's fault.
Yeah, Julian, you're welcome.
It just gets me. Sometimes we talk about triangles, and then, it
all comes
floating back.
It's all coming back.
Started sweating. Dude, you're sweating right under your I hate being sexy part. And it's sexy.
You're welcome. For any moms that are dealing with some latching issues now, we're sorry.
Do you think they're dealing with it as of listening to this moment in the podcast?
If they're feeding their baby and then they hear that, of course the baby's like, what the fuck?
No, that's the baby's gonna latch harder.
Okay, we hope so. And in which case, you're welcome.
No, because I hit the naughty part of the triangle just then.
You did.
For Julian.
Go
listen to his podcast.
Yes, What's in My Head podcast.
It's amazing.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And he gets the big people on.
I hope we get to see him soon.
Oh, absolutely.
Is he coming to town?
I don't know when, but he is planning.
Okay.
And then he saw my post on Instagram where I was talking about what the Jefferson's Ocean double-aged rye was like.
Yeah.
And he was, dude, I don't drink, but I want to.
Uh-oh. No. We cannot be the gateway. I don't want to ruin him. See, this podcast can only ruin us.
Yes.
We can't spread this illness. Although Jefferson's Ocean might be I'm just going to go downstairs real quick. It has nothing to do with Jefferson's Ocean. I'm just going to be back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
And if I come back smelling salty, it's a fucking mystery, Ty. All right?
Solve it.
Yes, solve it. All right. So this mystery writer, she doesn't put her in the car, in the van.
No.
Because then the episode would have taken a dark turn.
And I think it would have been better for it.
Maybe.
So anyways, they all come down, and that's when they're like, all right, we got to go to the shelter. But Detective Heinlein comes in. He goes, nah, bitch, y'all got to stay.
Handline comes on in.
Handline comes in. It is not safe. So Grandpa can't come in.
And he has tiny hands.
He does have tiny
hands.
He
has very tiny hands. And he comes in and he puts them together.
He's like, yes, y'all cannot leave.
Yes, we're going to just make up all these characters. This episode's going to not even look... It's going to be the ship of Theseus by the end of this.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes. So Handline comes in with his tiny baby hands, and he says...
Y'all cannot leave. The storm has arrived.
Yes. Oddly, though, there is actually thunder and lightning that happens when characters deliver lines through this.
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that.
Yeah.
And so now all the guys are like, oh, fine. And that's when the mystery writer was like, hey, I have another piece of jewelry I need to hide and put in the safe. So, of course, Shelby goes in. And
for reasons.
Yeah. It's like, hey, fine.
Okay.
You want to make sure that if the storm happens, you don't want to. Fine. Whatever. So she opens the safe and her super duper expensive watch is missing.
It's gone. How much was it worth, Ty?
$20,000.
And this is 96.
As of 96.
So what? Maybe 50?
Yeah, this is a very pricey watch.
Yeah, I don't know geomology, but I would say that if you do the Pythagorean plus the altitude, you're going to be at about 51 point bar over the 3,000.
Did
I get that right?
So much sense.
Yeah. I had my protractors. My TI-85. I was playing Snake and Phoenix.
Title of your autobiography. I have my
all
protractors.
Of that? That whole... I have my protractors narrated by Ty Longworth.
Of course.
About Sean. Yeah. I gotta have a book too.
Yeah, it needs to happen.
Okay, so that's the one.
Yeah, we're going to be
the
authors.
future.
Yes, in the future. In an undisclosed next year.
In an undisclosed time that may or may not happen, that will. Ty, it's a mystery. I don't know.
But we can't help it, so.
We can't.
Nope.
Yeah, so she puts what is this, a ring now?
It's a ring.
It's a ring.
But the watch is missing, so the writer's like, I don't trust you, bitch. Takes the ring back. And now they're trying to figure out who could have stolen it.
She says that. I don't trust you, bitch.
Yeah, I don't trust you, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Nickelodeon
bitch, I don't trust you, bitch.
Yeah.
They were bitch ending before we were.
They were bitch ending before we were.
And
where do you think we got it?
Where do you think we got it, guys? So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mistrust now.
Yes. Now
Suddenly
everyone's kind of pointing fingers. And so they think about who was in the room when she put the watch in.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the writer. We have Melanie, who was nearby because she wanted to see the watch. She's like, oh, it's so pretty.
Who Noah has a crush? Noah?
Yeah, Noah has a crush on her.
Because he's in a band.
Yes.
Obviously.
So obviously he needs validation.
Right.
And then there was the what was his name? The cameraman?
Oh, Fuckling. No. Fuckbert.
Fuckbert. That's it.
Oh, Fuckbert. Fuckbert behind the camera.
Yes.
Yes.
And then apparently we have the magician's assistant / wife there because she remembers, oh, no, bitch, you were standing right here.
Right. She moves her.
But moves her to the spot. And then also was like, well, I was actually upstairs packing.
Yeah. But no one said anything about that.
No one.
That's fine.
That's
where we're like, the script, we got some questions.
Yeah.
But, who else was down? That was it, right?
Yeah, it was just them.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, I was all the way back here. I couldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
And so everyone's now looking at Melanie. Mel's like, I didn't do it. And she's feeling the nerves. Yeah. She's not happy about it. So then Shelby's like, hey, we cannot make accusations without some evidence.
Which I appreciated.
Yes. So they start like taking a break. They kind of part ways, and that's when you have the friends like, "Hey, no, I know you like her, but like all the things are pointing to her." And Shelby's like, "We can't."
You heard what she did in high school. She stole from the cafeteria.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh.
Which, I mean, yeah, everyone stole from the cafeteria.
Yeah. And so at that point, that's when Melanie sees them and she's like, all right, I got to set something straight. So then she goes and grabs everyone and she goes, look, I did not do this. I couldn't have because Shelby was covering the lock. So I couldn't see the combination. So then they go and they take a look and the cameraman's like, I need to grab my camera. So it goes to grab the camera.
Also, hold on.
Okay.
If that's true, it kind of ruins it's like, oh, she was covering the combination. And they're like, yeah. That's true.
So it can't be her.
But it can't be anyone. You see what I'm saying?
Unless they're on the other side.
I guess. We'll get there. But he grabs his camera. Old fuck bean.
Yeah,
his name's
Bert.
It doesn't matter what his name is. It's going to be fuck something.
Okay.
His words, not mine.
Yeah, his words. All right. And then the lights go out. Boom. And we hear a thud. And we come to, and Melanie's gone.
Straight up.
Like straight up. Missing.
Just gone.
Just gone. Nowhere to be found. Oop. They look upstairs. They look downstairs. They cannot find her. Until they get to a point where like Shelby's like, actually?
And the whole time she is standing right next to the Alexander the Great magician box.
Yeah.
Of disappearing children.
Do you think Alexander worked for Legends of the Hidden Temple?
We know he did. 100%.
This makes so much more sense.
He was every single guard in that temple.
I think he trained him. He was the head guard.
He was the head guard.
So I think this makes this episode even better because now there's a tie. There's a tie-in.
Yes.
There's something that gives more depth to it.
It gives it a lot of girth.
It gives it a lot of girth.
Yeah, well, she's standing right in front of this thing, and like the whole time, we're like, okay, they're like, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
And then
she opens the door, finds Melanie apparently just waking up from being unconscious.
Yeah.
Who was just standing up unconscious.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, what happened? He goes, I don't know. I just remember like we were here, and then now I was in this box. And the magician, who even though Melanie was in his box, has the audacity to be like, we're kind of hungry.
Yeah.
And ask for sandwiches.
He doesn't even mention anything else about it. Like, hey, who put her in my box? Because we're supposed to think like, oh, he did this. Like, he's the only one who would know how that works. But he's a magician, so we know your tricks, you motherfucker. You motherfucker.
You fuck Bert motherfucker.
Well, he's not fuck Bert.
Oh, yeah. He's
Alexander the fuck. And she's like, I got to make sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's not enough that there's a hurricane or that I got to board the windows or that I got to solve a mystery. I can make you motherfuckers tostadas.
I wish there were tostadas. They're like tuna sandwiches and egg sandwiches.
A tostada just a lazy sandwich where you don't put a top on?
Well, it has to be like a fried tortilla.
Okay, what if it's a piece of bread with the middle bits and then nothing on top?
It would have to be toasted.
The open face?
it gotta be open face sandwich. But I would concur. If it was toasted, it would be a tostada.
Okay, so an open face sandwich is just I gave up. Here's the rest of it.
Yeah.
Here's 75% of a food.
I didn't have enough bread. Here you go.
Yeah, or I did have enough bread and I didn't want to share it with you.
Ooh.
That's that hurricane bread.
That's that hurricane bread.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to last. You ain't getting all my bread.
Yeah, she should have just done that. Just like, hey, I made you food, you stupid bitch, you fuck beans. Here's an untoasted tostada, you ungrateful little shits.
Sean,
I hope the hurricane gets you.
Not like us. Sean, I don't know if you would do well with a bed and breakfast if you were running one.
I would be terrible. I'd be so anxious.
Yeah. Like, I can't take care of your needs. I can't even take care of my own needs.
Yeah, I would take care of my own needs as much as possible. I'm putting the oxygen mask on myself first, and then they'll get whatever oxygen's left in my bed and breakfast.
I mean, that's what you're
they're
supposed
gonna get
to
a
do.
bed. They're not going to get breakfast.
We're just getting a bed.
Because I'm going to cook it, and I'm going to be like, Ty, this is for you. Except I'm going to be blackout, and I'm going to eat all those tacos for myself.
All those tostadas.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bed and bath breakfast guests. I said what I said.
You said what you said.
It's a mystery. I don't know.
It's a mystery. We're figuring it out. And so the lights come back on, and Shelby's got sandwiches, which apparently she made the sandwiches in the dark. Actually, if she's making egg salad sandwiches, how the hell is she cooking those eggs?
We're going to say, so the show could happen.
Okay, so she had a butane cooker or something.
I think she had the same smoker that you had.
Yes.
And she put an egg on.
Which, by the way, if you do get this, your Yarrow Pro smoker kit, you do need a blowtorch, like a food torch. I tried to use like a candle lighter. Did not.
No, just a candle.
Did not work.
You lit the candle, and then you poured the wax.
Yeah, the wax got all over the wood. It did not work well.
Yeah, when you get wax on the wood, it might be hot. That might be naughty, but it's not very courteous. Yeah, I don't know how she cooks these things. Maybe it was already like prepared.
Maybe. It was a mystery. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll
So she makes
figure it
these open-faced tostadas,
Yes.
these fucky sandwiches.
And so this is when the detective's like, hey, where was everyone during this time?
What's he doing with his little hands at this point?
His little baby hands are just kind of like, they're kind of flopping.
They're flailing, right?
Yeah, they're just flailing.
Flailing
While he
about.
looks cool, calm, and collected, his little baby hands are just...
Right. That's where his anxiety kind of leaves his body, right?
Yeah.
Through his baby hands.
That's effective. I like that.
So little baby hand line. What's he saying to everyone?
I mean, he's asking, like, where were you on the night of... No, he was
His
just...
accent just changes throughout the show, apparently.
Because it depends on how, like, fast his hands are flailing.
Right.
If it's faster, he gets even more mysterious.
Yes.
I have no idea what's happening. It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Did you black out a little bit?
I did a little.
Yeah. That's what your shirt says. I hate blacking out. And I can't help it.
But I'm on a Whiskeylodeon podcast, so I can't help it.
Yeah, let's just make a bunch of shirts that... I don't want it to be the same color, though.
No, it's got to be different colors. It's
Yeah.
gotta be the same sheer texture.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, maybe more see-through. I still don't understand how it's supposed to see-through and not. It is the Schrodinger's cat of t-shirts.
Like, I think I see his nipples. I see his nipples, but if I look another way,
I
don't see
also
his
don't.
nipples.
Yeah. Your nipples are both alive and dead. Schrodinger's Nips. An autobiography by Sean Anti. So how does an autobiography by two people?
It could happen because we're both telling it.
Would it be a biobiography?
No,
A bi-biography?
it would be an autobiography.
So three of us. It'd be triography.
It would be
Right.
an autotriography.
I may not be good at geology, but my triography skills are on point. Woo.
You are crushing it, Sean.
We're still collecting data. We'll
still
get back to
collecting
you.
data. And so at this point, Gina says that she was upstairs, which you were the one showing where Melanie really stood.
Yeah, she's a lying bitch.
She's a lying bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then, speaking of, the magician's like, yeah, I was up there with her. And that's when Gina just looks at him like, you dumb motherfucker.
He says that.
She says that.
She says that.
With her eyes.
With her eyes.
With her eyelids.
Wait, who is this? Who's saying that?
This is Gina. Gina's looking like the magician, Alexander the Great, was like, yeah, I was up with Gina.
Can we call her
packing.
Lie Baby?
Liar baby?
Lie Baby.
Lie baby.
Yes.
Okay.
Or Gina the fuck. No.
No.
We're still let's workshop this for a second.
It would be
She
Gina
can't
the
have-
fuck assistant.
Okay. How about Magic Bitch?
Magic Bitch. Okay. So Magic Bitch, like, I was upstairs. And then Magic Prick was like, I was upstairs too. And she goes, nah, boo. Don't you try and take my hiding spot.
Yeah, they're getting their stories conflated.
Absolutely.
Big time. And so now we're like, maybe it's them.
Maybe.
I don't know.
And so as they're kind of going back and forth, they're kind of blaming each other. The hurricane chaser, Fuckbird, says that the camera can look up to 100 times. Like it can
the
zoom in
zoom
100
lenses
times.
has? Yeah.
In which case he also talks about, I was like, oh, you can even slow it down. Check this out.
Yeah.
They then cut to the writer who admits, like, Shelby and her actually connect because they love solving mysteries. She goes, how did you figure that out? And that's when the writer's like, well, sometimes I cheat. And Shelby's like,
Straight up.
Excuse me? He goes, yeah, like this one book that you like, I couldn't figure it out. I had writer's block. So I grabbed a bunch of these people that I based these characters on, got in the same room, and I just let life happen. I just sat back. I'm like, oh, so that's what would happen. Cool. I now know my story.
I think I can respect that as long as you're not putting anyone in
Mortal danger.
Mortal danger or unnecessary trauma.
Yeah.
No, take word unnecessary. That's not fair. That makes me look like a monster.
If it's necessary trauma.
If it's necessary trauma. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine.
He had it coming.
I pushed you in the ocean because I wanted my TikTok video to look good. It was necessary trauma.
I pushed you into the pool
I
when I was
needed-
4 because I didn't know what would happen.
Yeah, I needed the followers. You know, it's science. Okay, you heard it from Ty.
Yes.
He writes these books.
I write these books.
Yeah, and it is a nice bonding moment. And then she does mention this tactic of hers
And Shelby's kind of a little shook by this.
a little bit.
A little bit. And then we cut to Fuckbird, who's sitting there trying to blame the magician. And then the wife is...
He's also 8 foot tall.
Yeah, he's a hella tall dude.
He looks kind of like if
He's a
Gumby lost
beanpole.
all the color in his face.
Yes. And we've kind of been stretched out a bit.
Yeah, and then had a camera on his shoulder.
And then Gina starts blaming Noah. And then, like, everyone's starting to blame each other again. And that's when it's like,
Gina's magic
shut
bitch.
up.
This is where we find out she's on the phone with Grandpa Papa.
Oh, not yet. We get there.
Oh.
We get there. So they're all trying to blame each other. And that's when the window bursts. You had that branch kind of go through the window.
Yeah, a tree got pissed off and threw a wood
Yeah.
through
The tree was one that said shut up. The tree was like,
Yeah.
motherfuckers, I am trying to sleep. Throws a branch.
Yeah. And if you look close enough, you can see Harry Potter's car in the tree.
And if you look even closer, one of the branches flipping a bird.
Yeah, it's flipping a fuckbird.
A fuckbird.
Yeah.
Fuckbird.
At fuckbird.
Do you think it was fuckbird?
In the tree?
No. Do you think the tree was saying it's fuckbird?
I think so.
I think so too.
Trees know. Trees are knowledge.
Yeah.
You ever hug a tree?
Yeah.
It actually feels amazing.
It does.
I would
Until like the bugs crawl on you and are like, oh, guys, you weren't part of this.
pause this podcast and I want you to go take some time and go hug a tree. Tell me how it feels.
Yeah.
Write to Ty at Ty69 at...
I will pull up a picture on the day of the podcast of Sean and I hugging a tree.
Okay.
And then we'll be like, hey, did you hug a tree? How did it feel?
Yeah. Send us your photos.
Yeah.
I guess.
Tag us in your photos.
Yeah. Do it. It feels
Done.
great. And if there's a tree that is flicking off a suspect, even better.
Even better. And so at that point, Shelby and her friends are eating ice cream because they're like, oh, we got to eat these before they go bad. And Shelby's like, we still have power. He goes, well, you don't know when it'll go out again.
Yeah.
No one just wanted ice cream. And I can respect that.
Respect it.
I can respect
I
that.
crushed a whole pint last night.
Ooh, what flavor?
It was a peanut butter cookie. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to save this. Like I always say this. I'm going to save this and it'll be two sittings. And then you get to that, like you've eaten 60% and you're like, well, I don't want 40% later.
It's very valid.
That's looking out for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, what happens to me is I'll have about 25% at first, and then that'll be during like the early part of the day, and then I'm like, I still want some, so then I'll have like another 25%, and then it's like, well, I just had dinner, so I gotta have dessert.
Well, now you got to get your TI-85 out.
Yeah.
Do some math.
Yes. And I'm like, all right, well, I have half. Let me just eat another 25%. And I'm like, but I want to just like 25% for a day. And you just finish it off.
Yeah.
It's math. It's science.
But at least you did it throughout the day. I mean, I think I crushed that thing in half an episode of Animorphs.
Well, I mean, when you're stress eating, because you're watching a show that's not well done.
Yeah. Let's just stretch this out so we don't have to ever get into it. But we're close. We're getting there.
Close, yeah. Because as they're eating ice cream, they hear a thunk just, and they race out, and it's the camera dude. It's Fuckbert.
He's got a big old. I thought he got shot in the fucking forehead.
Yeah, it looked like he has. Yeah,
Yeah.
It definitely looked like he just got bludgeoned in the face.
Yeah.
And he is like knocked out cold. When he finally comes to, he wants to blame the magician. The magician's like, I can't do that. I'm not that strong.
Anyone else here can do it except for me.
Yeah.
And Magic Bitch.
And Magic Bitch, the fuck assistant.
I thought you were going to say fuck sister. Oh no.
This isn't Rudy Giuliani.
Is he fucking his? Oh, he does fuck his family, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Or does he?
married his third cousin. Yeah.
He married his third cousin. That's right. Well, we don't know if they fucked.
They were married.
I'm not defending Rudy Giuliani. I'm just saying marriage does not equate to. Marriage sometimes equate to less sex.
So typically you have sex to get married, and then when you're married, there's less sex.
Okay.
So there had to been something.
There's a triangle there probably.
There probably is a triangle.
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani definitely fucks his family though.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're reading a factual one source right here.
Yeah, right here on Wikipedia.
It's on source.com. It says Rudy fucks his family. You heard it here first or third or fifth.
Yeah. We're probably not the first to report it, but we're going to be the first to report it.
Yes, that's how it works.
That's how it works.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, listeners.
Science.
Science.
It's a mystery.
And
We don't
mystery.
know.
We don't know. We're figuring it out.
We're collecting data.
We're
okay?
collecting data. We're finding the evidence.
Yes, and speaking of evidence, where are we?
Yes. So as they're trying to figure things out, the machine starts going crazy. The Fuckbird's weather machine. Yeah. And that's when Shelby and Detective Heinlein, whatever his name is, with his little creepy baby hands.
Little baby hands.
They're like, oh, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
And they both stared at each other for
An
what felt like
uncomfortably amount of time.
Yeah. I was almost hoping he'd be like smile and then go, no, I what are you thinking? Yeah. But no, and then it cuts to a commercial break, but we got a good solid multiple seconds. 10?
Yes.
20?
At least.
Minutes?
At least. And so they finally get everyone together, and the officer's like, hey, can I use your flashlight? And Fuckbert hands him his flashlight, or a flashlight. He goes, no, not this one. I want yours. And it's like this green one. And I was like, why? I was like, well, I got something to prove. He goes, okay. Hands him, and he was like, I've had this flashlight, or several flashlights, that didn't work, even though Shelby replaced the batteries. So obviously, something's going on, and you untwist it, and it's the watch.
Yeah.
And
he got there pretty quickly.
Yeah. And that's when he was like, oh, I didn't put it there. It was probably the magician. And he goes, well, that could have been an option. But then we also cut to your machine and how it wasn't until you had plugged in everything that the power went out. And you're the only one who's tall enough to get you on the fucking head because you got a big-ass forehead and a tall-ass body. You're the only one who could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And they call him out. They're listing all these evidence. And let's see, am I missing anything?
Well, then that's the big kicker is.
And then, they finally say, hey, your camera also can zoom in and clearly see the safe.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to worry about how fast it was going because you could slow things down. You had everything you needed to get this.
Right. She quotes him from earlier.
Yes.
And Ty, we both guessed this.
Yeah, we both were like, it's the
I
camera dude.
I mean, it's not that impressive. You kind of knew it from the get-go.
Yeah.
He's the first character you really don't like.
Yes, and
yeah.
I the only one that I actually did like was the writer, but also I was like, she's also kind of sus.
We don't meet her first though.
We don't.
Yeah, he's the first character we meet who we do not like.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm like,
he's technically the first character in the story, period.
That's right.
So, but yeah.
I wanted it to be him. I'm so glad it was.
Yeah, it was so validating. I was like, this little piece of shit, he's got to have done something, and he did it. And we're like, you're fucking going to jail.
You stupid fuckbert.
You stupid fuckbert.
You got what was coming to you, you dumb
did.
bitch.
So,
yeah.
there it is.
That's
Mystery
our
solved.
episode. Mystery solved.
Mystery
it's
solved.
not a mystery anymore. Oh, what's your takeaway, buddy?
I had a lot of joy just reminiscing about how I felt before. But yeah, this definitely felt like, oh, did you guys just cast the people from Are You Afraid of the Dark to be in this? Like the detective Heinlein, I thought he was really solid.
Yeah.
Shelby, Irene Ong was fantastic.
Yeah, and then everyone else was kind of acting. It was very performance.
I mean, you call it acting, but is it? I mean,
you
you
could,
had the
you could
magician
te- I,
doing
what
his
I mean
weird
is you
little
could tell
laughing
that they
stuff.
were acting, right?
Yeah,
Like
they
they weren't embodying real people.
no, they were absolutely trying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the musician with those creepy. He did that, and then he walks back inside.
That was magical.
No. Unfortunately, it was.
satanic,
It was his
but it
version
was
of magical. Yes, his version of magic was that.
The fact that you brought that back to life, I'm like, did you just play a clip? No. That came from his mouth hole.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably the worst, but not the worst. But yeah, that's I don't know.
That happened.
It happened. It was fine. I enjoyed it a little bit more than I was worried I wasn't. Like,
Yeah, it's still fun. It's still quirky and weird. So does it hold up? I think it does, as long as you understand that this wasn't a high quality production.
it wasn't. We're viewing it through the lens of multiple things that we try to do when we talk about these shows. So I'm excited we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I want to stretch this out as long as possible, Ty, so that we don't have to get to the next one. But alas, my friend, we do. But
Let's stretch out a little longer with
a big old dick.
Hey, fine Whiskeylodeon folks, this is Julian, the host of the What's in My Head podcast, a podcast where I chat animation, pop culture with some of the industry's biggest names. I've had guests like Craig McCracken, the creator of Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Kids, Jorge Gutierrez, the creator of El Tigre and the Book of Life, Rob Paulson, this generation's Mel Blanc, Billy West, Doug Funny, and Fry from Futurama, all three of the voice actors for Ed, Edd and Eddy, Cartoon Network's longest running show, at least for now, and so many more amazing folks. So check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on all social media platforms to see who we've got coming up next and to submit a fan question or two. And that's at In My Head Pod. So sit back, spark a joint, and follow me as I bring you a piece of your childhood each and every week. And now back to the show.
Whiskeylodeon.
Okay, Ty, I'm not. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What show have we done so far that you've felt a sense of reluctance?
Ooh. I can't
Has
say.
there been one?
I don't think there has been one for me.
Me neither. We've had notes.
We've had no's. I'm like, okay,
Had some
this could have been better.
Feelings have changed or evolved or devolved.
Yeah.
What was your experience as a child with this show that we're about to talk about? Let's get the good. Let's get the good. Let's put as much good energy as we can right now.
All right.
We're gonna need it.
I fucking love the books. In fact, I would say I probably read Animorphs before I ever got into Harry Potter.
It was Animorphs and Goosebumps at this simultaneous, right? Like you went to the
those
book fair for those
two.
books and Mad Libs.
And Mad Libs, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I love these books.
And the covers.
And the covers. Oh, the covers were fantastic.
Yeah.
So when they came out with the show, I was so excited.
Naturally.
And I remembered loving the show. Like, if we're thinking about the 90s, like, it was still, like, pretty, like, revolutionary for a kid's show.
Sure.
We'll give it that. We can give it that.
I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you're going to take a book that it's hard to adapt that
Yeah.
in that time. Yeah.
But they tried.
They did. They technically tried. They sure did, Ty. It was like not the most fond memory that I had as a child, but it was just like a little baby staple. Like, you just put your hand out there and you staple it real quick. You put your little baby hands as you're like a little detective. You put it out there, you get a little staple, a little baby staple. And that's what this show was for me on my tiny baby hands.
It's a mystery. Let's solve it.
This is no mystery, my friend. Do we have anything else good? Do we have any good things to say?
There's some good fun facts. I'll share that.
We'll do those.
Okay,
those
yeah.
are fine.
So we're going to be covering the pilot episode. My Name is Jake, Part 1.
We're not going to get to part 2. Are we?
Well, if the audience asks for it, we'll torture ourselves for you.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today,
No.
Satan.
We're just doing part 1.
Just part 1.
So sometimes weird things happen. Ask Jake. He might tell you the night he and his friend saw a strange light in the sky. He may even tell you what happened when they realized that the light was only a plane from another planet. Here's where Jake's story gets a little weird. It's where they're told that the human race is under attack and given the chance to fight back. Now, Jake, Rachel, Cassie, Tobias, and Marco have the power to morph into any animal they choose. And they must use that power to outsmart a greater evil. Wow, that's...
Is your smoked whiskey starting to do word
Well, I'm
jumbles on your
realizing
lips?
that the summary I copied was terribly written. The power to outsmart an evil greater than anything that the world has ever seen. So it was correct. I was
We
just
knew
reading
what
it
you
wrong.
were saying.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, we get it. It's the hour mark, my friend.
It is the
Our
hour mark.
words are going to start giving up on themselves. And we are going to do our best to not give up on those words.
Never gonna give you up. Never
goddamn.
gonna let you down.
Why the fuck would you rickroll us of all things? Of all things.
That wasn't Rickroll. That was just, hey, never gonna
You
give.
just rickrolled me.
I sang the song.
On
Rickroll.
this
It's like
podcast.
How
does Rickrolling make me feel?
Rickrolling. I will not get Rickrolled. Rickrolling is when you are presenting something as, hey, here's this, but JK, it's this. You just gave me the beginning line of it, and I sang it. That's not Rickrolling. That's called singing.
It went from synopsis to Rick Astley. I don't expect a synopsis to lead me there. This is not causal. This is cause and effect. The effect was rickrolled. Yeah, I'm not going to yell again. I'm not going to yell again. I might yell later. We'll see. We'll see what the show brings out of us, Ty.
We'll see, man.
It's a tense atmosphere. Do you feel it?
I feel it.
Do you feel it?
I feel it. I think I tried to Rickroll you without actually meaning to Rickroll you as a way of just lightening the mood. It just made it worse.
It's not as bad as what we're about to talk about.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. We always want to be positive about our Nickelodeon shows. We do mean that it meant us the world to. That this podcast starts out as like Nickelodeon, it's the best, and then we just arc into fucking villains.
It's like, what the fuck did they do to us?
Yeah, we just arc into little villains with baby hands talking.
Little baby hands.
Yeah, well, it's a mystery, I guess.
Well, let's get into it. So this
Here
show
we
was
go.
created by Kathleen Applegate, who also wrote the series. So
far, so good.
so far, so good. A lot of the interior sets were built in a brewery, which turned into a television studio. And Goosebumps was also filmed there.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the show was filmed in Canada, but never aired there because they didn't have Nickelodeon at the time. Canadian actor Sean Ashmore, who plays Jake, who also played Iceman in the X-Men,
He did.
as well as Lamplighter in The Boys, which is very much different than Nickelodeon.
You know, he's kind of typecast.
It kind of is.
I've never seen him as just like the boy next door
Yeah, I mean, Iceman was kind of the boy next door
with ice powers.
with ice powers, yeah.
We've never seen him as the boy next door with the ability to have a 9 to 5.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Where you at, Iceman? Come on.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Sean Ashmore.
Sean Ashmore. Well, it's a great first name.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
No,
How's he spell it?
Shawn is SHA.
He can get the fuck out.
Oh, man. But yeah, so he didn't realize the show actually had an audience until he went to the United States and was recognized by fans.
Oh. Yeah. So was this one of his first things that
I would
he's
imagine
done?
this is one of his bigger ones.
I'd have to imagine because I don't
Like one of the first
remember
ones, at least.
seeing him until, we were introduced to the very first X-Men on screen, live action.
All right, so just going through, he's been in some like one-off stuff since the early 90s.
Okay.
But yeah, 98-99 Animorphs was his big break.
Nice.
That's when he got his first lead role.
I'm glad that he was able to still work after. I mean, like I think it's unfair to actors when the movie suffers for other reasons,
Yeah.
and then they don't get as many phone calls.
Yeah.
So
So he
is
actually, from there he went on. He was an X-Men. I believe was he an X-Men 1? Maybe it was X-Men 2. I know he was an X-Men. Yeah, he was in X-Men as well. Then he was in Smallville for a couple episodes. Earthsea was another show I watched. Earthsea, yeah. It was a sci-fi original where he played like a magician who didn't know he had powers or something like that.
Did he have a 9 to 5?
Yes, because he was in school. So it was a 9 to 5 job. He was just in school from 9 to 5.
All right, Sean.
We start off with Jake, who is narrating, of course. He was like, yeah, I was just a normal, ordinary person 30 minutes ago, but not anymore. And we cut to him and some friends playing games, like a Space Gladiator, I think is what they're calling it. The game itself, they were actually playing Beast Wars, like a Transformers game. And
That's a real game, right?
that is a real game, yeah.
I think I remember that.
And so they were originally trying to be part of the Transformer toy line because it was like, hey, here's a person who can transform into a bird or whatever animal. But there was no crossover.
No.
They didn't need to.
Just kind of flailed away.
Yeah. So we see him and a few others. We got Marco, Rachel, Cassie, and Tobias playing a game. And then you have Homer, and Homer is adorable.
Oh, the doggy.
Yeah, the little doggy,
It's great.
the golden retriever.
It's fantastic.
Like he's sitting there, like kind of expressive fuck.
It took me a minute to figure out what was going on in the scene when the way they were cutting back and forth to these different groups, and then it was tethered by this game, and then I realized, okay, they're playing a game together.
Yeah.
That was immediately for me. I was just like, I'm already getting taken out of this. But thank you, Homer, for being there.
Yes,
I stayed for the
Homer
dog.
Saved the show.
Yes,
Came for the podcast, stay for the dog.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, little Ziggy's here just laying down.
Yeah, little Ziggy Sebastius decided to join us for this part 2 of this episode.
He's just laying there being a good boy.
He is. He's just all sprawled out. He's in his happy place.
Now, in this game, Marco is now playing, and the game freezes. And that's when Homer starts barking. He is losing his fucking mind.
Yeah.
And runs off. Like, literally runs off. He's been such a good boy, and then he runs out, and everyone chases him.
Right, and we're introduced to, I guess you introduced everyone already.
Yeah, it was Tobias. So Tobias kind of played by himself, and now he's walking by himself. And he ends up going into, like, this gated factory, and the dog runs there, and they chase, like, all the other guys, all the other friends chase Homer to this abandoned factory.
Right.
It looks like they were running for a long time, because it went from, hey, we're running out, to now it's a little darker, now it's, like, nighttime. They were chasing him for what seemed like a while.
Yeah, all day.
All day. So they're starting to go through the factory.
Which,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say the good. I really appreciated that they took their whole day to look for a dog. I want those friends.
Yeah, those are the kind of friends I'm like, hey, you get it. You know why it's
you get
important.
it. Yeah, until we find them. Yeah, amazing.
Amazing friends.
That's all I got. we have peaked, Ty.
Okay. Well, it's about to go downhill, man. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
let's just roll the shitstorm
So they
all
finally
downhill.
find Homer, who's just chilling with Tobias.
Yeah, it was the most terrifying shot of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like oh, hey, thank you. And he's just like, look.
He's standing there like a little slender man.
Yes.
And Tobias is not the dog. Homer, the dog, is just sitting next to him. Sorry, the whiskey is hitting me. And Homer is just sitting there like a good boy, and Tobias is all slendery.
Yeah.
And he says, look.
And they turn around and they see lights coming at them. And then you find out it's a plane and it crashes. And immediately the thought was like, let's go check this out.
Looks nothing like a plane,
It looks nothing like a plane.
but they're fine with it.
They're fine with that. So they go, and of course it opens up. And then like all you see are like these horse hooves coming out.
Yeah. Which actually was kind of scary.
It was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, uh-oh, this looks like a little space centaur.
I don't want to meet it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see his face and you're like, oh, I do not want to meet that.
You see the silhouette,
Yeah.
and then occasionally they cut to his face, which I was very confused.
It was very confusing.
Well, and bless their hearts with the budget, but the lighting changes like so drastically that you see this silhouette creepy monster, and I think it would have paid off a little bit more if we don't see his face.
Yeah.
But
that didn't happen.
yeah, he takes a little stumble, right?
Yeah, he stumbles down, and everyone goes to help out except Marco. Marco's like, bitch, we don't know this person. What if he's radiated?
Marco, sweet Marco, like they knew he was the comic relief, and they're like, how about every single line he says, he tries to be funny.
Hey, Marco, you're a sassy bitch.
Oh, I thought you were going to say shut the fuck up with
I'm pretending.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Marco, you sassy bitch. Shut the fuck up. And let the goat alien do his thing.
Yeah, let the alien centaur do its thing.
Yeah.
And at that point, like the centaur talks to them telepathically and introduces himself as Elfangor.
Ty, Ziggy Sebastis is covering his face because he doesn't want us to go on anymore.
I know, but buddy, we got to. It's for our fans.
He understands what we're talking about.
He goes, Elfangor.
He's like, oh, it only gets worse from here. Elfangor?
Elfangor. That's his name. I actually looked it up just to make sure.
I looked up the definition of Elfangor.
Ooh, what is it?
It stands for the Fangor.
Ooh. Well
Gotcha.
done, sir.
Hey, I do fun facts from time to time.
You do, and I appreciate
I
it.
got you.
Well, Elfangor tells them that they need to beware of the Yerks.
And the Yerks are?
Jerks.
And the jerks are?
Alien parasites who will take over your mind by climbing in your ear. They're little slugs. And they are trying to amass their army.
Basically a host situation.
Yeah.
Yep. And
so that's when he's like, hey, I need you guys to fight them. So here's this cube. And it means like you need to touch it.
yeah,
And that came across really wrong.
touch my cube.
Touch my cube.
Hello, little space children from Earth. I'm in your brain now. But first, before I die, please touch my six-sided cube.
I mean,
Yeah.
he might as well have said that like that.
Yeah, he might as well have said it like that. And they do. They finally do touch it.
And their trust is just so, like, they're just like, he said the world was ending. We got to
Yeah.
trust. You guys didn't think, like, maybe it's a trap?
Yeah. Not only that, it takes so long.
Dude,
like,
it
literally
takes
so many seconds.
Longer than when Shelby and baby hands were looking at each other.
Yes.
This
And it's
pregnant
very
pause
much-
was like 9 months pregnant pause.
Yeah, they were like, did anything happen? And then you hear the alien go,
What happened?
No, the alien's like, it's done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's done. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no, like sound effect or
No sound effects.
lighting
no.
cues. It
yeah,
was just
nothing to be like, oh, hey, this is happening.
Yeah.
It's just we're touching. What's happening? Nothing's
the
happening.
microwave timer goes off. Yeah. Egg timer complete.
Yeah, done.
Cool. That's where the eggs came from.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We
Yeah,
solved
it's
it.
no longer a mystery. Excellent. Yeah, and he tells them a very important
Yes.
piece of advice, or not advice, but
I mean, he's sitting there telling them, like, look, like, you're gonna be the ones that can save the earth. Like these people, you can't trust anyone. Anyone can be a controller, a person controlled by a Yerk. And then we see another ship. And we're like, oh, what's that? And he's like, oh no, Visser 3's already caught up.
because we're supposed to know what that is.
Yeah. And he's like, run, leave. And then he tells Tobias, hey, take this alien compact disc.
You are.
Protect it with your life and your
You
soul.
seem to be like, yeah, your heart and your life and your soul and your brain and your dick.
And your toes.
Yes. Yeah.
Your toe dick.
Head, shoulders,
Knees
dick,
and
and
toes.
knees and toes. Yeah. And Tobias takes it.
No, he drops it.
He drops it.
He drops it.
Well, because the motherfucker throws it like an asshole,
yeah.
and he catches it. Does he catch it?
No, he doesn't catch it. He drops it.
So it stays there?
It stays there. So they hide, and then you find Visser 3, who has taken over the body. Apparently, this race is called the Andalites.
Andalites.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Visser 3 is a Yerk who has taken over another Andalite body. And so he's very much like, I'm going to rub it in your face because I'm going to take over Earth. And he goes, why Earth? Because there's billions of these motherfuckers that are dumb as fuck, and I can take over them, and then I'll have a billion-strong army.
I get it. Yeah. Motive kind of tracks.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
And at that point, that's when you're surrounded by... Oh, first off, Visser 3 turns into like a gigantic like monster and eats them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Did not expect that.
No.
Did not remember that
We
at
see
all.
it through the shadows.
Yeah, it's
His
a little shadow
silhouette.
play.
Little shadow play.
And then that's when you're just surrounded by people who have no idea where the fuck they came from.
I assume the ship from another planet?
Maybe, but I feel like you would see them all like storming out. Like, especially if you're focusing on the shadow, you see all these shadows coming around.
It
and
took
it's
me a
people-
second, too. I connected dots that I think had to be connected in our own way because you're right. There's a bunch of fucking people, and I'm like, are these the guards of the facility? No, wait. No, that doesn't make sense.
Why are they after the kids and not the
And why are
frickin'
they not
monster?
in uniform? They're a bunch of random looking people.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, it was weird. And so, of course, all the kids are running, and they kind of split up. So they end up calling what is called a Bork Jasir.
A Bork Jasir?
A Hork Bajir.
A horror Bajir?
Yes. Apparently, this is like a chicken lizard like alien monster.
Say it again.
A chicken like alien monster.
No, say the name.
Oh, the name.
I don't need you to repeat the chicken like alien. I heard you there.
Hork Bajir.
Is there a K in there?
Yeah, Hork, H-O-R-K,
I'm
Bajir.
hearing a horror Bajir. The first, I was like,
I mean,
oh,
that's what I heard. I heard, release the Hork Bajir.
yeah.
And then they're like, no, it's an actual alien that looks like a fucking like dragon chicken with spikes all over its head.
I
and
assume
body.
they took it directly from the book.
Yes, I actually looked it up.
Yeah.
So this is apparently like an herbivore alien race. Like they're dumb as rocks, but they just eat plants. They're just herbivores that are peaceful. And so the Yeerks are like, yeah, we're gonna need those. What, me? All of you, all of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dicks.
dicks, dick moves, jerks, Yeerks, you're jerks.
Yeah.
Yeerks the jerks.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. It's they come out of nowhere though, and suddenly the our heroes are scattering.
Yeah, and one of them, one of the girls, I think her name was
Did we
Cassie.
even mention that they were told that they'd become animals if they touch an animal?
Yeah, so he did say that. It's like, hey, if you touch an animal, you'll take on their DNA and you can transform to the animal.
Yeah, because you touched my salty cube.
You're yes,
My
excited.
death cube, yeah. My dying wish. Hey, I'm dying, but I trust you, Six.
Yeah, you seem like you would help.
Seem like you'd help. You're going to turn into animals if you touch them. Okay, cool.
And so one of the girls, I think her name was Cassie, she ends up falling, in which case Jake decides he's going to be a hero. He's like, just save her. And he's like, hey, dummy, over here.
Yeah.
And then, like, of course, the Hork Bajir starts chasing him.
Yeah.
And he ends up getting slashed in the back. Like, you see his shirt rip because it's got claws for hands.
Yeah, not tiny baby hands.
Yeah, just like real hands. And so he ends up hiding in the tube. Like, apparently its eyesight's terrible. So in the shadows, he's able to, like, climb into this pipe. And he's hiding. And then he thinks, like, the Hork Bajir is going to come to him. But it's not. Finally, it's all these people running around like, oh, where are they? And then you hear one of them, I was like, oh, incompetence, such incompetence. And then he, like, looks and he sees, like, this guy with some boots. And he's, like, rubbing his leg with his foot like a little flamingo.
Yeah, he takes it kind of, it's like a figure four shape.
Yeah.
We'll call it that for now.
Okay, I was going to call it flamingo.
Well, flamingo.
Yeah, he was flamingo.
He was an itchy flamingo.
He was an itchy little flamingo.
Come on down to the neighborhood bar, the Itchy Flamingo. We got $1 tequila shots. You will black out.
Yeah. So then he's like, all right, I think they left. I can go. And then the Hork Bajir is like, nope, I'm right here, bitch. Stands in front of the pipe. But somehow, no one saw the dog also climb into the pipe.
They must have got a notification on their phone.
Like, literally, they
Or
see this
something.
dog just go into this pipe, all nonchalant. Like, he's not racing. He's walking calmly. And then suddenly now they're surrounded by people.
It's
And then
Homer, yeah. So Homer is in the pipe with
Homer's not
with
in
Hellboy.
there.
Yeah.
And that's when Jake's like, all right, I need your help.
Mm-hmm.
Touches him. And it happens pretty quickly. It didn't take as long as it did with the cube. But he concentrates. And then, like,
Dude, this fucking scene.
Homer lays down and looks mortified. Like, he's terrified as Jake starts transforming.
I was mortified too.
I was mortified. You hear bones crunching.
Dude, it was a
Like,
lot.
It was
They made it
traumatic.
They made a decision.
It was a decision.
It was like the first cut. They're like, yes, that's perfect. No notes.
No notes. We're
His
good.
bones are crunching. Like the way, like, I don't know. I just felt like there could have been a more tasteful transition. And I don't really care about tastefulness too much, but it was just like unnecessarily unsettling.
It was ungodly.
I don't care about God.
It was mortifying to Homer and to us.
That was the worst part.
Yeah.
Was because they kept, and this went on so long.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now you get Jake, who now looks like Homer but is happy.
Yep. 2 Homers.
And 2 dogs run out, and one of them grabs a flashlight from one of the dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did the
cool.
flashlight have a watch in it?
No, it was just a random flashlight that the dog just bit and took. And so
It didn't have Shelby Woo watch?
It didn't. No.
Oh.
There's no Jules in there.
Wow.
And so that's when Visit 3 is like, hey, do you see those kids? And he goes, no, we just saw 2 dogs. Like, you idiots, those could have been Andalite warriors. Get them.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they chase and cannot find them.
Nope.
So now we cut back to the next day. They're at school, they're at the cafeteria eating their lunch, but Jake's not there. And so all the kids are like, did that really happen? And then they're like, what if Jake got caught? Then Jake's right there and he slams his lunch down, like kind of like a brick, like he's mad.
Didn't get caught.
He was like, I didn't get caught. He goes, guys, you would not believe what happened. Changes his tune like that. And it's like, I changed into Homer.
Yeah.
Like, he was kind of excited. He goes, I just concentrated, and then I heard my bones crunch.
He
and,
describes exactly what happened.
yes,
Like,
and like the other kids kind of look mortified. They're like, ew.
yeah. Like,
And
but
then
you got to do it too now.
yeah, and they're like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. I thought that was all a dream. And then you get the principal. Principal Chapman comes out,
Mm-hmm.
and he's sitting there walking out, and he sees some kids kind of being rowdy, and then he goes, bitches, y'all gonna do anything about this? That's like what it says. Bitches, are y'all gonna do anything about this? And teacher's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he goes, incompetence, such incompetence. And that's when Jake's like, oh,
I remember that line.
I remember that line. Looks down and sees those same boots.
Those he
And then he
flamingos out.
flamingos. He
He
scratches
goes
his leg with his
full
boot.
Fucking flamingo.
And that's when he knows our principal is a controller.
Does it end there?
Yeah, it's kind of like we can't trust anybody.
That's it.
Like, I kind of look at everyone else, and it's like we can't trust anyone.
That's it.
That's it.
We're done.
We did it.
We're done.
Woo, we did it.
Fucking done. Excellent. God, that was a record. New record. We did it. Do we need to talk about how we felt about that?
I mean, we kind of have, but like overall, it's this. The fact that the creator of the book series, who also was trying to create the show, like kind of like took a hands off, but it's like I'm kind of not wanting any of this anymore.
Okay, kind of
I
backed
feel
away.
like they're like, hey, you should be the showrunner, but then didn't let her have any control.
Could have been. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
That's kind of what it comes across is when they're like, yeah, we don't want anything to do with this. You've ruined it.
And it's not even that. I mean, I don't know how close they stayed to source material.
There was something. So in the books, this was one of the things I wanted to share. How Jake escapes is that the controllers get distracted with the homeless man, and he uses that to get away. Whereas in this one,
There's a
they're like,
homeless man?
in the book, not in the show. And so in the show, they're like, well, no, let's go ahead and show what changing's like. Let's make it traumatizing for the kids. Then they'll come back.
Because I don't remember in the books if they go into graphic detail other than like Jake morphed into a dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. It lasted. It was like 1 or 2 seasons. It was just like 26 episodes. And they're like, all right, well, yeah, it was 2 seasons because here's another fun fact I didn't actually write down. They didn't want to go through with the 3rd season because, not because of budgetary reasons, but because if they did, then Christina Applegate, as well as the producers, would be getting a pay raise. And like, well, this show isn't doing good enough to deserve that. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I found in my research.
Wow. We do research here.
We do.
On the Whiskeylodeon
We want to make sure
podcast.
we are giving you the facts, even if we made them up.
And if you want to reach out to us, what can we do better?
Yeah.
We want to get better.
We're going to hug a tree.
We're going to hug a tree because,
We're
I
gonna
want to
have
be
you
less
tag us
angry
in tree
throughout these
hugging.
weeks.
Mhm.
Julian.
And in which case, yeah, we'll definitely want to make this as best as we can for you. Also, we want to make it so good that you want to tell your friends about it. And we want to make it so good that you want to go on Apple Podcasts and give us a 2-star rating, if not higher, just to be like, hey,
Right in there.
we're listening. We like
Baseline
you.
review. Yeah. And if you want to write words, cool.
Yeah.
That's good
and
too.
if you're that fucking bitch who ruined Harry Potter for Sean, you have to give us a 5-star review and give us some great words and 3 words.
I want 6 stars, you 2-star bitch.
Oh, man. Well, buddy, we're here. We did it.
Is it time?
It is time.
time.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
I don't know. What are we talking about next week?
Ooh, next week we are covering Clarissa Explains It All.
We are.
And
The Secret Life of Alex Mack.
that's right.
Okay, that's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun.
be
Because we're
fun.
also going to have one of
We have
our
a friend,
friends on.
Bailey,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're going to have Bailey
It's
Jones
her birthday.
on.
It'll be her birthday
It will be her birthday.
at that time of that recording
We're gonna
in the future.
celebrate.
Yes. We're getting close to the end of the season. We got a few surprises in store, I think.
Absolutely. We can't wait for you to see it all.
Yeah. Well, they're going to hear it.
Okay, here, and they'll see some stuff we'll post.
Yeah, pictures.
Pictures.
Yeah, non-moving photos
For right now.
for right now. Well, as we do at the end of these things, Ty, and the great name of our Holy Father and savior of Whiskey Christ, he says,
Bottoms up.